Welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level ESL lesson. Today we're going to be doing a writing lesson using adjectives, and you're going to be practicing by writing a restaurant review. Right, so how often do you eat out? When and where do you go? And what types of restaurants do you like? How often do you try somewhere new? How do you find out about new restaurants? Where do you take visitors and friends to eat when they are in town? And when you visit new places, do you ask for restaurant recommendations? And you can answer any or all of those questions in the comments. So what do you think of Marcel, Paula, and Brina's ideas? Marcel says, I love trying new places and I usually check newgoodeats.com for reviews. Paula says, I generally ask for recommendations from friends and family. I don't trust what people write in online reviews. And Brina says, most of the time I check Eat Well Local. Eat Well, Eat Local .com. It has reviews and menus of restaurants and cafes listed by neighborhood. So what do you think of these restaurants? What are they like? So we have the Red Orchid. It says it's a Thai restaurant. King Street Restaurant, the Flying Fish, and the Blue Truck. All right, so read the review about the restaurant and then answer the questions. You can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. The Red Orchid serves authentic Thai food at very reasonable prices. I visited the restaurant with a friend last Tuesday, and at 7 p.m. we were surprised to find that it was nearly full. We both ordered the chicken and coconut soup, and then we shared two main course dishes. All the food was amazing. We were lucky to get a table on a Tuesday evening, so if I were you, I would make a reservation. So what does the author mean by authentic? Well, if a restaurant is authentic, it uses recipes and ingredients that are typical for that kind of cuisine. What are reasonable prices? Generally, it means not too expensive. Why was the author surprised? She was surprised that the restaurant was so crowded on a Tuesday night. What was amazing? She said all of the food was amazing. And what is the specific recommendation about this restaurant? She says she would make a reservation. All right, so adjectives ending in ed express emotions, and we use ed adjectives to express how we feel. What was it like? The food was amazing. How did it make you feel? I was amazed by the food. Now read about the King Street restaurant. King Street restaurant is famous for its chili mussels. We finally got around to having dinner here, and we were not disappointed. My girlfriend was new to chili mussels, so she was a bit worried about how spicy they would be. They don't offer a choice, which is a shame. The mussels come with garlic bread or pasta. In my opinion, it's a good idea to get the garlic bread since you can use it to mop up the sauce. We'll go back. So what does get around to something mean? Usually it means if you've been delaying doing something and then you finally do it, you got around to doing it. And what is the specific recommendation by the author to get the garlic bread with the chili mussels? All right, so now complete the sentences with the correct option, whether it's the ed or the ing ending. Okay, the service was disappointing. I wasn't very satisfied with the quality of the food. Unfortunately, the waiter was confused and he mixed up our order. To be honest, the cheesecake was disgusting. It was far too sweet. I was very disappointed by the service. The staff members were rude. I was shocked when the check arrived. I didn't realize how expensive the food was. The menu was confusing. The English translation was poor and impossible to understand. And Joanne said she was surprised to see the restaurant so full on a Tuesday evening. Right, so skim the reviews again, and what did the authors mention? So the kind of food and drinks, so Thai food, chicken and coconut soup, chili mussels, garlic bread and pasta, the quality of the food, food was amazing, um, cost, reasonable prices. Doesn't really mention prices with this one. Location. Doesn't really talk about location with either of those. Service. Doesn't really talk about the service and atmosphere. Just hear that it was full and busy, but nothing more about atmosphere. All right, now we're going to listen to Ellen, and then you'll answer the questions.
My husband and I went to the Red Orchid for the first time last weekend. It's a new Thai restaurant near the center of town. It was a Saturday night, and we were glad that we had booked ahead because it was very busy. If you are looking for a quieter, more relaxed atmosphere, you might want to think about coming during the week. The staff was friendly, and the service was quick and efficient. We ordered chicken satays as a starter, and then we shared the red curry duck and beef with ginger, which came with boiled rice. Everything was delicious. When the bill came, we were surprised to find that it was reasonably priced, too. Overall, we had a very satisfying experience at the Red Orchid. It's a restaurant I definitely recommend.
Right, so which restaurant did Ellen visit? It was the Red Orchid. Had she made a reservation? Yes, she had. What does she say about the atmosphere? Well, she said if you want a quiet, relaxing atmosphere, it might be better to go during the week and not on a Saturday. She described the staff as friendly and efficient. They ordered the chicken satay and I forget the other two things, curry duck and beef with ginger and boiled rice. And she said that the food was reasonably priced. Okay, not all reviews are positive, so you're going to complete this review and answer the questions. There are definitely better options out there than the blue truck. The food was excellent, delicious, and satisfying, but the service was the worst I've ever had anywhere. The staff was rude and disinterested from the moment we entered the restaurant to the moment we left. It took forever to even get a menu. It's so frustrating because the food is wonderful, but I won't be going there again. So what does the author mention? The kind of food and drinks? No, he just said the food was good, but he didn't say what they had. Quality of the food. Yes, he said it was excellent, delicious, and satisfying. The cost doesn't really mention the cost. The location doesn't mention the location. The service, yes, the staff was rude, disinterested. Um, doesn't really talk about the atmosphere of the restaurant itself. All right, here's a final review. So you're going to read it and then answer the questions. So if I were you, I would avoid the flying fish like the plague. The only positive thing about this restaurant is the location, since it's right next to First Beach. However, as soon as you walk in, you realize that this restaurant is in trouble. The staff just doesn't seem to care. The food is disgusting and quite expensive too. There are plenty of other restaurants near the beach. It's much better to try one of them. The quality of the food and drinks? Yeah, she said the food was disgusting. Um, or the kind of food and drinks. She doesn't say about the kind, but she does mention the quality. The cost, she said it's quite expensive. Location, she said that was the one positive because it's right next to First Beach. The service was bad. Staff didn't seem to care. Doesn't really mention the atmosphere. So that's the complete review of the flying fish. So eating out isn't always a wonderful experience, and you can answer these questions in the comments to start some conversation. What bad experiences have you had at restaurants and cafes? Have you ever experienced rude service? Has the food ever been substandard? And a restaurant's atmosphere is important. Have you ever eaten in a place that was too noisy, too hot, or too busy? Now listen to Maurizio and then answer the questions, true or false, and if they're false, go ahead and correct them.
I went to the Blue Truck with a big group of friends last week. I was a bit worried about the size of our group, but the staff was friendly and helpful, offering to move some tables so that we could all sit together. Our server was very efficient, and the food arrived quite quickly, exactly as we had ordered. Among us, we tried just about everything on the menu, and the food was amazing. There were generous portions, and everything was cooked to perfection. You might want to think about trying the lasagna. That's my personal recommendation. The dessert menu looked tempting. They had lots of traditional desserts, but the green tea and honey cake sounded interesting to me. Unfortunately, I just couldn't eat anymore. If I were you, I would definitely make the time to check this place out.
All right, so Maurizio also went to the Red Orchid. That was false. He went to the Blue Truck. He went to the restaurant with two friends. That was false. He went with a large group. The server was efficient. That's true. The food took a long time to arrive. That was false. The food arrived quickly. The portions were generous. That's true. Maurizio personally recommends the green vegetable curry. That's false. He recommended the lasagna. And Maurizio ordered two desserts. False. He mentions two desserts, but he didn't order anything. All right, so he used a lot of adjectives, so we'll listen again and fill those in as we go along.
I went to the Blue Truck with a big group of friends last week. I was a bit worried about the size of our group, but the staff was friendly and helpful, offering to move some tables so that we could all sit together. Our server was very efficient, and the food arrived quite quickly, exactly as we had ordered. Among us, we tried just about everything on the menu, and the food was amazing. There were generous portions, and everything was cooked to perfection. You might want to think about trying the lasagna. That's my personal recommendation. The dessert menu looked tempting. They had lots of traditional desserts, but the green tea and honey cake sounded interesting to me. Unfortunately, I just couldn't eat anymore. If I were you, I would definitely make the time to check this place out.
Right, so now you're going to choose a review or a restaurant that you either liked or didn't like, and take notes about these points, the atmosphere, the staff and the quality of the service, the food and drink choices and the quality of the food and drink, the location, the cost. Also be sure to mention what day and time that you went. Was it busy? Would you suggest making a reservation? And what is your overall recommendation? So you're going to write a first draft of the review. Start with a sentence that mentions the restaurant and your overall point of view, and mention as many of these points as possible: atmosphere, staff and quality of service, um, food and drink choices and quality of food and drink, location, cost, and end with a final recommendation, maybe even a suggestion to the manager of the restaurant. And then you can use this checklist to go over everything before doing your final draft. And if you'd like to share your review in the comments, that would be great. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.